Coming up right now, it's a wild 911 call, a woman's plea for help with a rocky invasion.
Also coming up, is this the future? Elon Musk debuts his latest invention, why it could help save your marriage.
All right, a little bit later on, Lego my Lego. The relief one man finally gets after decades of sinus issues. I'm sure you'll know where this is coming
Goodness, Daily Flash starts right now.
Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Jackson.
And I am Mitch English, and we are presenting to you Daily Flash. Rat-a-tat-tat. We also got Matt Doolittle. How are you there, Matt?
Good, guys. You know, and you can see this on my preview review. It's on our YouTube page, Daily Flash. Just search it there on the old YouTubes. But I got to see the Saturday Night movie, which I've been waiting for a while.
Yeah.
Now, they don't get into a lot of the drug stuff that happened on there, but Uncle Milty, just be God he's not around in the Me Too era. I'll put that in there.
Comedian Milton Berle.
Milton Berle, yeah, Uncle Milty on there, and he shows you his Uncle Milty. So,
I've heard it's quite large.
oh, he lets you know.
Apparently, yeah, which shows you different Hollywood, and then you go back in the 50s, it's a whole where he grew up, you know, or he went through
Vaudeville and all of that,
and that sort of thing. So you can see, I'm excited to go check that out.
I wonder how Uncle Milty would do with texting in this day and age. Would he be texting pictures?
Oh, yeah.
He would have had some kind of...
He probably would have had an OnlyFans page.
Well, if you think about like Diddy right now, you know, he thought he was untouchable, and he was pretty open and everything too, or allegedly. So we'll see about all of that.
Slick Diddy.
Yeah, so this gal posted screenshots of text messages she was getting from a coworker, right? She posted them on X. I think they've gotten 28 million views so far.
Okay.
The coworker kept bugging her for money. Initially, she had lent her a few dollars at work to help her out, and then it was a constant barrage of, I need $10, I need $5, I need $3 more. And she's just like, and this is texting before, during, and after work. So the girl, you know, was like, what am I supposed to do with this? Come to find out, she'd been trying to borrow money from other people at work. Even customers coming into the shop were asking, is she there? Because I don't want to go there because she's going to ask me for money.
Wow.
So, you know, bosses are saying this is tricky because the text exchange is happening on your personal phones. It's really between the two of you, even though you're dealing with this in a work environment. It's kind of new territory because can your boss crack down on the texts you're getting after work? And this is also a personal decision she made to loan this woman money initially. But, you know, it sort of is like bridging on harassment at this point.
Well, and exactly.
Yeah.
I would. And they say if a family or friends, you're giving it to them, don't expect
it. Yes, exactly. It's a gift.
It's a gift. Just if you have that mentality, then you don't have to worry about it coming back. But I also imagine it's so easy now to send money via text message, you know, like with Apple Pay and that sort of thing.
And at one point, the woman had paid her back like $7, and she goes, can I borrow $3 from you? She goes, I don't even have $3 in my bank account. Well, give me the $7 I just paid you back. And she's like, you've got to be kidding me. So, I mean, even though...
So how can you go after,
how can you go after this person? Because this is really personal on off time. On your text messages, it's not a work thing, but it's happening with a coworker.
I can understand. And, you know, a good boss would probably figure out a way, and it would have a good discussion with her saying, hey, look, I understand what's going on.
Yeah.
This is kind of off the records. I want to let you know it's not making for a good work environment.
She's gotten some grief for posting the screenshots online, but she's like, I had no other choice. Yeah. I don't know what else to do other than try and maybe embarrass this woman to stop her from doing it.
But if she's harassing customers, then the boss can definitely
that's
step
true.
in and go, hey, you can't do that.
That's a great point.
You know?
Yeah. Very true.
All right, we go now to Washington State. There's a woman, she calls 911. She says, listen, I can't get out of my home because there is a raccoon invasion. And I want you to look at your screen. This is what she saw. The sheriff said the woman called deputies when she discovered more than 100 raccoons outside of her home. furry bandits were all in search of food. The woman admitted to deputies that she started feeding the raccoons 35 years ago.
Okay.
So they know where to get the food.
Exactly.
6 weeks ago, she said it got out about her 24-hour buffet, if you think about it, and the raccoon population exploded. Listen, the tight-knit community there. They send text messages out and everything. Anyway, now they show up 24/7 expecting to be fed. Deputies were startled when they came and arrived and saw all this. Wildlife experts say it's never a good idea to feed wildlife. And quickly, if you're concerned about a raccoon, they have rabies. It's not just assume that they do, all of them. The funniest thing that's ever happened to me is a true story. I was at my sister's house in Mississippi, and I was on the phone on her back porch, and she has cats. Like the neighborhood cats always kind of wind up in her house. Anyway, so I'm sitting there on the phone, not paying attention, and I'm petting the cat and everything, and not paying attention.
I know where this is going.
And then I saw another one. I'm like, yeah, yada, 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 petting the cat. And as God is my witness, I come around, there was a chair across here. It was a raccoon the entire time. I was petting a raccoon. I start yelling, screaming. Yeah, they're extremely smart, James. And I start yelling, screaming, and I run inside, and my niece is like, Uncle Mitch, quit cussing. What's going on? I go, there's a raccoon. She goes, yeah, it comes out all the time. And I'm like, I was petting it. Freaked me out, but then I got, well, luckily the thing didn't bite me or whatever, but they eat cat food. They'll eat any kind of food.
Yeah.
So
I had one chase me for my leftover red lobster one night.
I believe it.
I was going to my apartment and it came out of this tree and it started running. I just threw the food at it.
They have audacity, these raccoons. They're not afraid of humans.
No.
If you start feeding them, they expect they're much like cats.
Well, that's the thing, and I feel like they send out a widespread message, like this lady's got food, and it sort of travels across the entire raccoon empire, and before you know it, you've got hundreds of raccoons
And that's
in your
exactly
front
what
yard.
happened.
And yet, after all that was done, she had a nice coat.
Oh,
Raccoon coat?
no, don't go there. Don't
she
go
stole
there.
it like the raccoons did.
Elon Musk has debuted his army of $30,000 robots designed to help with household chores. The Jetson-like Rosies were showcased walking in single file across the stage. Musk encouraged the audience to walk up to the Optimus robots and ask for a drink. The Tesla bot stands about 5'8", weighs around 125 pounds, features the same autopilot computer used in the company's electric cars, and allows the robot to recognize real-world objects with customized sensors. The Tesla robot can lift up to 150 pounds. These household robots can carry up to 45 pounds and walk 5 miles per hour. It also has human-like hands and sensors for eyesight. Could you imagine how many marriages this could save if you've got
Go do the dishes.
a Rosie the robot taking care of your household chores?
You're looking at this video, and no, you're right. You're like, if it takes care of all that sort of thing. But here's the thing, they're not there. Don't expect that if you buy one now, it's going to be able to do this kind of stuff. And there were also some talk that there were people controlling it behind them. It's kind of like when you go to Disney and you'll see the little
puppeteer.
Yes.
Really close by, there's
robotics,
somebody. He's really good at hiding it because I always look around. But my understanding, again, we're not there yet.
But we're getting close.
We're getting there enough for them to walk like this. And it's all happy. We've all, everything's great, what they're going to do. And then Maddie, which, you were talking about iRobot.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
That's exactly,
look,
yes.
Look, Shredder had the Foot Patrol, Rita Repulsa had the Putty Patrol, and then Elon's going to have these robots, Optimuses, coming after to attack
I'm
us.
sorry. What the hell are you, the Putty Patrol?
Nerd talk, but it all ends with these clans
What
of
is it?
robots
It's like a
that
whole
fight
other
for
language
you.
I don't understand.
Is it from a movie or
Yeah, it's from TV shows.
Oh, okay. I don't mean to sound mean.
Everybody else gets it.
I know they do, but there's...
They get it. Thank you.
So, all right, hold on, really quick. Let's just do this for the audience. What do we Google? Something putty.
Putty Patrol.
Putty Patrol. D's
The
or
Power
T's?
Rangers.
Power Rangers. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Putty.
Well, yeah.
I thought he said Paw Patrol. I was like, I get Paw Patrol.
little animals.
Stormtroopers for your generation. Same idea.
I don't mean to sound old, but I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. I'm a little worried about it. I think it's great. Here's the thing. It's not going to stop. It's going to happen. We're going to have robots. We know this.
It's true.
We need to figure out what we need to come up with laws now instead of waiting. For it to happen.
Before the robots make the laws.
The robots are going to make the laws. No,
They
you're
sure
right.
are.
And they'll probably make better ones.
Ticker jibs!
And I say what we do is we get robot politicians and put a 4-year battery in them. They die off.
Done.
I'm all for that.
I like that.
Check this out. There's an Arizona man. He can finally smell colors after blowing his nose in the shower. All right, weird, I know. It actually freed up a Lego piece that had been stuck in his nose for nearly 3 decades. 32-year-old Norton Havoc, which sounds like a great name to put something up your nose. He shared the shocking story on Instagram. He says that he suffered from breathing and sinus issues for years. Lego piece got lodged all by his own doing, because we've all done it. He said it happened when he was playing with construction toys, the Legos. He thought that he could remove it by using his Lego man. That didn't work. His mom tried to remove it with a pair of tweezers, but the Lego piece remained. Doctors suggested he blow his nose in the shower to help dislodge the Lego piece. It worked, I guess, 30 years later. Oh, he kept it too.
Ew.
Think about that.
Do they put it up at Legoland?
They should.
Something you can come visit?
They should. I think so. We got more of today's trends in tomorrow's talk. What are we talking about?
Stay with us. We're going to talk about election anxiety. We've got a doctor on the line who's going to help us cope with everything that's going to be coming down the pipe in the next few weeks.
This is big,
yes, huge. Stay with us. We're back right after this. With the 2024 presidential election just a few weeks away, many Americans may be feeling increased anxiety. Joining us now to address this issue is clinical psychologist and author Dr. Michael Adams. Dr. Adams, welcome back to Daily Flash.
Andrea, thank you so much for having me back.
It is no secret, Dr. Adams, we have a mental health crisis in this country, and the upcoming election has many people feeling a great deal of anxiety. You've got some terrific tips to help us get through the next few weeks. Let's start with the first one. You suggest committing to a news diet.
Yes, I do, Andrea. I think what's happening in this country, of course, is people are very anxious about the election, whatever way it's going to turn. When I say an election diet, what I mean, or a news diet, if you will, I say watch the news a little bit in the morning, watch a little bit of it in the evening or afternoon, and you'll catch up on the major bullet points of what's going on that day, especially in the election space, right? Because many people gorge themselves. I'm going to use that word, gorge themselves on the news. They're 24/7 almost connected to what's going on. And I would say, especially this late in the process of the election, I would say that most people know where they stand and most people have all the information they need to make their choice. So all that does is, we know the equation works like this. Conflict creates drama. Drama creates interest. And if we throw the element of fear in, we have the perfect psychological format for engagement. So news medias know this, and people need to be smart consumers of the news.
It sounds like you're describing a blockbuster movie, just when you mention those things. You also say, number 2 on your list, avoid anticipatory anxiety. What do you mean by anticipatory anxiety?
Okay, so Andrea, anticipatory anxiety is really when you're expecting some kind of event or something to take place, right? And you're reliving that fear over and over and over again. Whatever's going to happen in November of the election is not going to be influenced by one individual voter, okay? So being anxious about the outcome and overly anxious about it and revisiting 50,000 times between now and then does nothing for you except make you upset, anxious, depressed, confused, whatever variable we want to put in that equation, right? So I tell people, don't relive this over and over and over again. Just cast your vote and we'll see what happens.
Also on your list, and I think this is extremely important no matter where you fall on the political spectrum, practice tolerance.
Yes, what we're seeing is a lack of tolerance with people. I even see in my practice, Andrea, I see people that are so extreme one way or the other, so polarized. There's problems with friends, relatives, coworkers, whatever. They're on different sides of the dimension of politics. And unfortunately, that creates an uncivil kind of interaction with people. So I always tell people, listen, we're not one dimensional. We're complicated. So we're not just Republican. We're not just Democrat. We're not just independent. That might reflect our attitudes, our motivation, our interests, and so forth, our values, right? But we have to always remember, too, that we're complete human beings. And just because we're one political party or the other doesn't mean that's the totality of who we are. America was founded on tolerance, and we need to return to that.
100%. You also say a good way to kind of help with the anxiety is to volunteer for your cause.
Well, yes, I think if you're very passionate about the cause, I think you can do certain things. I think you can, be involved in, phone type of solicitation of people. You can stuff envelopes, although we're getting a little late. But here's something very challenging. I think what we can do is we can engage other people in civil conversation who don't agree with us. Keyword, civil. So that's one thing we can do. We can talk to people who don't agree with us. As long as it's civil, we may learn something from the other side, because this is not portrayed. It's not in black and white.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're probably closer together on the issues than we are far apart, and I think people forget that. It's also easy to get so sucked into social media and do the doom scrolling, and the same goes for cable news. You also say, fifth thing on your list, think for yourself.
Henry, it's very important. We have critical analytical thinking. That's what people need. They need to think for themselves and not just mimic or parrot, if you will, what they've heard. They need to think for themselves, digest it, and understand. They're also exposed. News is very closely related to propaganda on any side of the fence. So you have to remember that if we digest this carefully, okay, we're going to probably have a much more accurate view of what's really going on if we have a critical view towards them.
Great information. Dr. Adams, where can people get a copy of your book, Make America Sane Again?
Well, Andrea, thank you. It's makeamericasaneagain.net. And there's one chapter I wish I threw in there, which is we should propose a Department of Common Sense. We really need that.
I like that. I will lead that for you if you need any help whatsoever. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us.
We have now come to the part of the show where we sit back, listen, and just say, Mitch, please! Has society reached peak stupid?
Yep.
Is anyone actually going to go out and buy these? Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Crocs for dogs. They'll debut a little bit later on this month. Yeah, they're normal Crocs, but they're smaller and they come in sets of 4. There's a strap around the ankle so they don't slip off. Now, they also claim that fans have been asking for dog Crocs for years.
No, they haven't.
Matt, they haven't. Thank you, Matt. I was kind of concerned you wanted one for your cat.
No.
Anyway, they said, all right, we'll cave in, and they went for it. They're already listed on their website, the Crocs website. It's going to cost you $50.
No.
What? Yeah, and they come into 3 different sizes. They also come in 2 different colors, green or pink, or technically green slime and dragon fruit.
Okay.
So, your colorblind dog will have to make the decision for you. Keep that in mind. Don't worry, though, because if you want to look even weirder, there's matching pairs for humans so you can actually coordinate your outfits, Crocs for dogs.
Idiocracy has gone too
You're
far.
100% right. Watch the movie Idiocracy. They're all wearing Crocs. Anybody going to buy these for their pets? Yes. I need to know.
I'm not, but people will.
People will. They're saying already they're selling them on their website. They're apparently selling pretty well.
Everyone at the flea market.
$50 for these things. Listen, your dog does not like to dress up. I know you say, oh, he loves it when he puts it. No, he doesn't like, and he doesn't like you. If anything that's going to make them walk like a prancy dog, they're not going to want to do
They're
it.
going to get made fun of.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English. It's time for us to check in with Tony Toscano to find out what's coming out of Hollywood and straight to your screen, no matter what size you're going to watch it on, even on your phone. With the latest, here's Tony.
Thanks, Mitch. In selected theaters and streaming online is the new comedy, The Problem with People. It stars Paul Reiser and Cole Meany.
I want you to find our American family and make things right. All right, now. I want you to call them now.
Hello, not interested.
Hello, I am your cousin, Kieran.
In the film, 2 cousins who have never met try to make amends for a family dispute that's gone on for generations.
This can be a fun ride. So, first of all, that, and then secondly, all the things we've talked about. I mean, the fact that it's a film with kind of universal appeal, that speaks to other issues as well.
We premiered this a few months back at a film festival, and so many of the comments were, I'm going to go home. You know what? I'm going to call my father. You know what? I'm going to call my sister that I haven't spoken to for 4 years because this is silly. It's like, well, that is pretty lovely. And yeah, of course we're not going to solve world peace, but if anybody leaves going, you know what? I think I can be a little better than I have been lately. That's pretty great.
Although very formulaic in concept, The Problem with People is a funny and enjoyable film with solid performances from both Reiser and Meany. Again, you can check it out in theaters or online. It gets a B and is not rated. In selected theaters is the family drama White Bird. It stars Helen Mirren.
Julien, you did not leave your old school. You were expelled for being cruel to another boy. I'm sure your father has told you stories about when I was a young girl.
He says you don't really like to talk about it.
I don't. But now, I think, for your sake, I must.
After he's expelled from school for his treatment of another student, a young man is visited by his grandmother and is transformed by the story of her attempts to escape Nazi-occupied France during World War II.
You know, we've lost that generation now, but, you know, they went through an incredibly, unbelievably challenging time, 1,000 times more challenging than anything. I mean, I'm not talking about Palestine or Sudan. I mean, obviously in Iraq, you know, there are places where people are profoundly challenged. But in our Western world, no one faces anything like what the world faced in those days. So I think it's important to remind people of that, and to do it in this way that is so loving and shows the beauty in humanity, above all, the love in humanity.
Whitebird is an emotionally uplifting story of kindness and how that kindness resonates through one's life. All in all, Whitebird is a beautiful and heartfelt story not to be missed. Again, it's in selected theaters and gets an A. It's rated PG-13. For the Daily Flash, I'm film critic Tony Toscano.
Thank you there, Tony. Well, welcome to your Daily Digits for this week. And we are all hearing some of the great stories of heroism come out of the aftermath of Hurricane Milton. One thing we can all appreciate being here in Central Florida is that if we really needed to, we could have run over to the Walt Disney World resorts, where they have more than enough power, entertainment, and food to that's where our first number comes from. It's actually 10, because that is what some TikTokers found was they were being charged for some food from the happiest place on earth when they thought Disney was providing them with a hurricane gift. Well, folks, it's Disney, but rather it was a $10 PB&J sandwich kit. Included in there was a jar of peanut butter, a full loaf of bread, and strawberry jam. One TikToker was quoted by saying, "I was thinking, oh, how sweet, then saw they were charging $10. Look, Disney did the best they could to entertain a lot of families and had many of their cast members come into work and keep everything running during the storm. Also, let's be honest, if they really wanted to, they could have charged you $22 and you would have still paid it because it's Disney. Well, your next number today is 7, as in 7 million. Well, if you're a Warner Brothers executive, you might want to be investing in some of those other boxes because you're probably getting fired. Because it's not looking so good for those who may have been left after the last DC division clean out, because Joker 2, fully not going to matter anymore, because the Joker 2 has fallen off by almost 81% from its first week in theaters, which already had a joke of an opening weekend for the clown Prince of Crime at 37 million in its first week. In its second week, it brought in just over 7 million, losing out to the slasher film Terrifier 3 and The Wild Robot, which if you saw that Terrifier movie, I don't want to know you. At this point, I think it'd be best to take that version of the Joker and punch that clown right back into its box. And your last number today is 30. Now, if you're a giant 90s nerd such as I, the Power Rangers were a staple of your childhood. Well, now the entire series seems to have come to an end after 30 years, and if you'd like, you can buy some of the swag from the show. It looks like Hasbro, which acquired the Power Rangers brand in 2018, is already morphing into a pawn shop by putting old Power Rangers items up for sale, so you can go grab them. I may have to grab a few and actually bring my wife home a proper dragon dagger. Those are your Daily Digits for today.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hey, everybody, I'm Mitch English.
I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash. Today's trends, tomorrow's talk,
We
my
love
friend.
having you here, don't we?
Yes, we sure do.
You know, during the hurricane, one of the biggest issues that people with electric cars were dealing with is their houses catching on fire. Did you hear about this? Because they have the home charging unit.
Yes.
And really, if you're thinking about getting an EV, things like this is probably one of the considerations that you have. So they're trying to figure out how can they really get more people interested in EV. Well, Toyota has actually come out to make a big step forward, and I was pretty excited about this. And you've probably heard me talk about, when are we going to switch over to the hydrogen car? right?
Yes.
And so we're like, we need the hydrogen. Well, apparently that's going to be so far away. So Toyota says, you know what? They have developed a hydrogen a solution to this. Basically, it's a battery made out of hydrogen. You use hydrogen, and basically it looks like a AA battery. And you know where you charge your electric vehicle? You would just put it in there, and it would charge your vehicle up. And then you could dispose it or get it refilled back up with more hydrogen, that sort of thing. So you keep these containers instead of actually plugging it up. So hydrogen is charging your car.
Okay.
So at least that's one step forward. And Toyota says we're already going to start doing this. This is here. It's coming.
Wow.
If you believe in conspiracy theories, and I tend to,
come on now,
here and there. They've had this around since the 70s,
yes.
But Big Auto has been keeping it away and Big Oil for decades.
Yes. And one thing that I appreciate about the hydrogen cars is that the exhaust is water. Yep. So, you know, just
so you're like steam.
You just put it underneath your muffler or whatever, and you get this nice water.
Until Big Oil can figure out how to charge you for water.
Until that day, you're right.
You can steam your buns and start your car.
Yeah. And you can steam your buns in the back seat while you're getting your car charged
How
up as well.
about that? I like it.
And I do have to say, I'm not. I would prefer a hybrid right now because I've rented an electric car, and if you're not familiar with it, you got to route out stuff, and it takes 15, 20 minutes, sometimes a half hour to do it, depending on the size of the charger. I think this idea is a great step forward, and if more people are going to want to switch over to EVs, then this is the step that
this might be the way to go.
Yeah. Interesting.
A Washington State woman called 911 after she was unable to get inside her home because of what she called a raccoon invasion. The sheriff said the woman called deputies when she discovered more than 100 raccoons outside of her home. The furry bandits were in search of food, believe it or not. The woman admitted to deputies that she actually started feeding the raccoons about 35 years ago. However, 6 weeks ago, word got out about her 24-hour buffet and the raccoon population exploded. Now they show up 24/7 expecting to be fed. Deputies were startled by what they found when they arrived. Wildlife experts say it's never a good idea to feed wildlife. No, never.
And you have to also remember that we're entrenched on their land before.
Yeah.
I mean, the raccoons were there before.
She should just embrace it and become queen of the Rakins.
There you go.
I am queen of the Rakins.
I think every raccoon is like the one off the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think they all have that attitude.
Rocket?
They all seem like they have that
Rocket with a gun?
don't they? They're so cool to look at. They're fascinating
They're
animals.
very close to humans and extremely smart. People don't realize it. One time I was, we get up really early and I went in the back of my car. My kids apparently were supposed to bring their groceries in, and they left the door open along with it. And I go out 2 o'clock in the morning, going out there, and my door's open. I look at it, and there's a raccoon, and the food that was left in there, it's all over the back seat of my car. And then I'm looking at it, and it just looked at me. And I was all like, "Can I help you?"
Ever know anybody that's had a pet raccoon? You would definitely look at them. I've known somebody that had a pet raccoon.
Not a good idea.
Someone's parents adopted. Your parents?
Adopted a baby raccoon.
Will, our camera guy, says his parents adopted.
It was a good idea or bad idea?
Well,
Never, smart.
Hold on.
Never keep one of those in your house.
Never keep one in your house. And just they go through, just wreak havoc or what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everywhere, they bite you.
They will bite.
Stuff.
And my understanding that most of them have, basically like that. Most of them have rabies too. You have to keep them, if you have that mindset. So, I mean, not all of them, but you sure are supposed to treat.
They're a wild animal.
They're a wild animal, right. They're so cute. And they have the hands and the opposable thumbs, and you just think they're little humans.
And the little masks.
little bandit eyes.
And they don't care.
Adorable.
Raccoons don't care. They don't care at all. Not at all.
They got that sexy indifference.
As the holiday travel season draws near, it's time to start planning where you want to celebrate. Travel expert Janine Tornatore joins us with some destinations in Mexico to add to your list. Janine, it's great to have you here. Let's jump right into it. Where are you taking us today?
Today, I'm going to take you to some beautiful Mexico destinations with resorts that are perfect for relaxing, rejuvenating, and celebrating the holidays with the families. So first, let's start in Tulum. I love Tulum. You're surrounded by the jungle, beautiful beaches. This is just a mystical place full of history and culture and some really beautiful hotel properties. My pick for you here is the Aloft Tulum. This property has beautiful modern spaces, this fun, vibrant design. You can soak up the sun sun at their Attico rooftop bar and lounge. They have a great infinity pool here with jungle views. The lobby is this fantastic, relaxed common space that has a great vibe for hanging out with friends with a pool table. And this property is pet friendly. So this is a really fun pick in the heart of Tulum. Next, I would take you to Mazatlan. This destination has a unique charm with colonial architecture and lots of gastronomy. It's really known for its seafood dishes paired with its local beer, and music is a big part of the local culture here. So you're going to find a lot of street musicians playing their music. Really fun vibe here with great hotel properties. I would put you at the Courtyard Mazatlan Beach Resort. This is located in the center of Zona Dorado. So you have access to beautiful beaches, a vibrant downtown. You've got nearby activities, including golf, surfing, biking, and fishing. A great property with an outdoor pool, a spa, and even a kids club. So a nice pick for families. And finally, I would take you to Los Cabos on the west coast of Mexico. And the property here that I love is the Hacienda del Mar Los Cabos. This is an autograph collection property. It's inspired by architecture of the hacienda. So you have 270 rooms and suites. Each of them has private terraces and gardens. You've got these elegant villas with balconies that overlook a private beach in the Sea of Cortez. The location here just doesn't get any better. They have their cactus spa where you can rejuvenate with body wraps, massages, exfoliation. They've got a 24-hour gym, a steam room, and a sauna. And this is also another place that's perfect for families over the holidays with lots of great programming for adults and for kids.
So Janine, you say there are even seasonal promotions you can take advantage of during the busy holiday season?
One of the best ways to save over the holidays is looking for those holiday promotions. One of my favorites right now is from Marriott. The promotion is called Celebrations Await, and it's at participating premium and luxury properties in the Caribbean and Latin America. And for this promotion, the longer you stay, the more you save. You can save 25% off your stay of 4 or more nights, or 30% off of your stay of 7 or more nights. Now, you book by December 15th to take advantage, but the promotion runs from November 22nd through January 20th for those stays. So you can really stay through that entire holiday period and take advantage of this great promotion. You'll find more details at MarriottBonvoy.com.
Thanks, Janine, for a look at those great properties. We'll make sure we feature these travel segments on our website at dailyflashshow.com.
As we navigate our digital world, staying safe online is more important than ever. Joining us with safety tips is Denise Leonhard with Zelle. Thanks for joining us, Denise.
As we move more into the digital world, criminals follow us there. So we start to see scams begin at a phone call, a text message, an email, or on a social media platform. Some of the scams that we see include romance scams, charity scams, insurance scams, and also discounts that are too good to be true. Zelle is preventing this via its technology as well as its education. On the technology front, we monitor tens of millions of transactions daily, and then we share that with our network of over 2,200 banks and credit unions. On the education front, we provide in-app messaging to make sure that people are sending transactions to folks that they know and trust. And we also provide education on our website. You can go to zellepay.com to learn more about keeping yourself safe and secure.
Many high school students are weighing their options for college. Laura Ibsen with Lucian joins us to talk about the biggest issues facing students, families, and colleges today. Laura, student mental health continues to be a major concern. What were some of the key takeaways from your recent student survey?
Listen, in that survey, number one, we saw that the number one issue for students is access to financial aid. That's what's really stressing them out. And 60% consider dropping out. But more than that, the big red flag was that students, 78% of students, say that financial aid is impacting their mental health, their ability to study and be successful in school.
Many students question the value of a 4-year degree, especially with the increasing costs. What are other options they should consider?
Listen, college tuition has gone up. It's stressing everyone out. But the options are really to have impact with that degree and amplify it with skill sets. So students are now taking classes online, flexible, hybrid, but they're amplifying the degree with things like credentials, micro-credentials, certifications, and more, just differentiating them from other students that they will be competing with in the workforce.
How is your company using AI to improve the college experience?
We've been using AI for quite a long time, but now that AI is helping institutions and students meet in the middle to understand the data around their success, whether that's in how they're enrolling, planning their degree, planning their activities, knowing that they have financial aid and that they can graduate on time. If we can be more predictive and harness and unleash all that data, it's going to put our students first. It's going to help faculty and administration to work in more productive ways as well. And that's what we're going to showcase in our next survey coming up.
And Laura, where can we go for more information?
Please check out Ellucian and all the solutions that we build at Ellucian.com.
Laura, thank you. We'll post this interview on our website, dailyflashshow.com.
Thank you there, Andrea. You know, in the United States, more than 10 million people above the age of 40 live with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or it's called COPD. There actually is a new groundbreaking treatment that may help thousands of patients, and we got more to inform.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm here today to talk about COPD, or chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. So if you're not familiar with COPD, it's a progressive disease of the lungs that can cause damage and make it really difficult for patients to breathe. Many patients are treated with inhalers, but for many, that treatment isn't adequate. And so I'm here today to talk about a new medication that's available called dupilumab, also known as Dupixent. And it targets a very specific type of inflammation that we can COPD driven by a type of white blood cell that's called the eosinophil. So we're understanding that for some patients, eosinophils really are driving flare-ups of the disease that we as physicians call exacerbations. These are periods where patients get really short of breath, need additional medication to treat, and sometimes can even end up in the emergency room or the hospital. So Dupixent helps to target this type of eosinophilic inflammation, and over time can decrease the frequency of these flare-ups. Now, Dupixent doesn't replace a rescue inhaler, but again, over time, in combination with a patient's maintenance medications, can help to reduce the frequency of exacerbations. So as a physician, I'm really excited to have a new treatment option for my patients because many of my patients have been on the existing medications for many years and are still experiencing exacerbations. But like with any medication, it's always about risks and benefits. There are potential side effects. So if you're allergic to Dupixent or any of the compounds in the injection, you wouldn't want to use it. Other side effects that have been reported include eye problems, joint aches, and pain. So like with any new medication, you always want to start by having a conversation with your doctor. Talk to them about your COPD. Ask them about whether you've ever had your eosinophils levels checked and whether that might be appropriate. You can also find more information on the website, Dupixent.com.
We all likely know that diet and exercise are important, but many people may not realize how managing glucose levels can enhance our overall health and well-being. Joining us today is nutrition expert Pam Nisevich-Bede. She's here to share the latest on new breakthroughs. Welcome, Pam.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So what should everyone know about glucose levels and metabolism?
So glucose levels are unique to every individual, and they vary throughout the day. And foods impact glucose, as does exercise and lifestyle. And we finally have a peek behind the scenes for anyone who's wanting to measure their metabolic health and their glucose. And Lingo by Abbott combines a tiny biosensor and an app. You wear the biosensor on the back of your arm for 14 days, and you get real-time data into how your glucose is responding to your foods, your exercise, your lifestyle, your stress, so you can start to make habits that work for you. And it's going to keep your energy levels steady. When you make those changes, you can have better sleep, better focus, less hunger, and more.
What are some healthy food swaps that can help stabilize glucose levels? And is breakfast really the most important meal of the day?
Breakfast is important because our food choices impact our glucose the most. And by fine-tuning what's on our plate, giving our carbs some company, adding in fiber, adding in protein, adding in fat. For example, oatmeal tends to actually spike and crash glucose often. But when you add in peanut butter, nuts, etc., you can get steady energy so you can tackle your day.
And where can we go for more info?
You can learn more about metabolic health and try Lingo for yourself by visiting hellolingo.com.
Thanks, Pam. We'll be sure to post this on our website at dailyflashshow.com.
New data shows that 78% of Gen Z students don't think they are prepared to succeed in college, and many are worried about their ability to manage a post-college career and adulthood. Here with more is Romy Drucker of the Walton Family Foundation.
This generation needs our support as adults. One of the survey findings is that only 20% of this generation feels that their mental health is excellent. So we need to be paying attention to the academic, social, and emotional supports we're providing to Gen Z. One great thing about this generation is that they do feel optimistic about their future. 80% of Gen Zers say they feel hopeful, even though they don't feel prepared. And so adults at home can listen and talk to their young person about their future and try to make connections to mentors that can help them think about what it is they want to do in life. And in school, educators can personalize the learning experience for young people. Give them projects that speak to their individual interests and passions. You can find more information on the Walton Family Foundation website. That's waltonfamilyfoundation.org/mental health day.
This is Tim. Tim is all about time, and if you've ever had a chance to look into Tim's cold, dead eyes, you'll see that it's time for you to follow us on social media. Sure, there's 10,000 social sites out there, and we don't have the time to name them all. Seriously, just ask Tim. So take the time to look for Daily Flash TV on your favorite social sites and start following us. That's all the time, Tim. Goodbye.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. It is time for must-watch movies. Here we go. A high-powered CEO puts her career and family on the line when she begins an affair with a much younger intern. This is today's must-watch movie, Baby Girl.
Being a CEO means being a collaborator and a nurturer.
Don't you have to be at work?
Everyone is just waiting for me to buckle under the pressure.
Is now a good time to introduce the interns?
Yeah. Hey, how'd you get that dog to calm down?
I gave it a cookie.
You always have cookies on you.
Why, do you want one?
Who decided to make me a part of that mentor program? You have 7 minutes.
So, how did it start?
I see myself as a
Power-hungry personality?
You think that's what I am?
I think you like to be told what to do. Sorry, I didn't mean to. That was incredibly inappropriate.
Your behavior is unacceptable.
Is it? If we're gonna do this, we need to set some rules that you and I both agree on.
Did you order this?
Starting with, I tell you what to do and you do it.
And if I don't?
Get on your knees.
No! What?
Get on your knees now. Is that what you want?
You're very young. I don't want to hurt you.
Hurt me? I think I have power over you. Because I could make one call and you lose everything. Does that turn you on when it's here? Oh, hey, you forgot your laptop at the office.
Mom, can Mary sleep over?
I genuinely believe women with power would behave differently.
Want to stop?
You seem liberated.
I've never experienced anything like this.
Good girl.
Ooh.
Mercy Lord.
Woo. Hot
That Nicole
tamales.
Kidman. Wow. Though I call my daughter Baby Girl, I hope this doesn't
It might change things for you.
Y'all take care. We'll see when we look at you. Bye-bye.